Merry meet everybody. It's Poe, your Friday hostess, and you're watching Witches of the Moon. This video is coming kind of late. I've been having some technical difficulties, but I think I have it figured out, so hopefully this video will upload Sunday evening. But this week on the channel we're talking about spiritual slumps. Basically what that means is at some point or another in your spiritual path or practice, you will experience a spiritual slump, which is kind of a feeling of lethargy towards your spirituality and your practices. It's kind of feeling like, you just don't want to do it, or it's just not, it doesn't have the same effect for you at that point, and that's basically what a spiritual slump is. So, there's all kinds of great things that may help, but in my personal experience, when I've gone through a spiritual slump, the first thing to remember is that this happens to everybody and that you shouldn't feel guilty for feeling this way. We are conditioned in society to feel guilty when we don't keep up on things, or when we turn focus towards ourselves as opposed to everything else that we're doing. And I think that it's important that when you do experience kind of a lethargic feeling towards your spiritual path, not to feel guilty that you feel that way. There's a reason usually that you do feel a spiritual slump, that you're feeling kind of a lag in that energy as far as your spiritual practice is concerned. And it's nothing to feel guilty about. I have gone through the motions, I guess, with it and feeling guilty for having less than enthusiastic feelings towards my spiritual path, but that doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't make things any easier. So it's kind of pointless to feel that way about it. When that feeling starts to arise for me, what I do is I will acknowledge that I feel that way and kind of pick it apart. Why do I feel guilty about this? Is it because I feel like I'm abandoning my path? Is it because I feel like I don't have time for it? Kind of pick it apart. Figure out why you feel guilty about it if you start to feel guilty for kind of getting in that laggy feeling as far as the spiritual aspect is concerned. So that's kind of the first thing that I would suggest. If you start to feel kind of guilty about it, acknowledge that you feel that way and try and understand exactly why you feel that way, because it's going to help you kind of break it down, and picking it apart will help kind of understand better why you're feeling like that. The next thing that I can suggest is while meditation and, spiritual cleansing baths and incense and all of that great stuff, that's all wonderful to do, cleansing in general, be it with sage or whatever, cleansing your person in whatever way you choose is great, or meditation is great, but in my personal experience, I don't get the result that I'm looking for when I do those things when I'm in a spiritual slump. It's nice to do those things, but it doesn't get the job done. It doesn't make it better. It doesn't fix the problem. So what I suggest to you, because usually when you go through a spiritual slump, there's something else in your life that is needing of your attention. That something in your life that maybe you've neglected because you've been so into your spiritual path, and it needs your attention, it needs your energy at that time. Usually I've found that when I go through a spiritual slump, it's because there is something else in my life that I've kind of let go or I've neglected, and I need to turn my focus and energy towards that aspect. So what I would suggest is thinking about certain things in your life, you know, be it personal relationships, be it, you know, going and doing something that you enjoy away from the spiritual aspect, you know, whatever it is that maybe you have kind of abandoned a little bit or walked away from because of the spiritual path. Like I said, I've found that in the past, when I've gone through a spiritual lag or slump, that it's because there are other things in my life that need attention because I've kind of turned away from it and not really paid attention to it. So I would suggest kind of taking a personal inventory of your life and the different aspects of it and figuring out if there is something in your life that is that has been kind of pushed aside or pushed to the back burner. And if you find that there is something that you have been kind of neglecting, I suggest working on it. It's as simple as that. Working on whatever it is that needs your attention at that point in time, really putting the effort in and putting your energy into it and resolving that first before you come back to your spiritual practice. The thing to remember is that it is okay, absolutely okay, to take a moment, be it a few days, a few weeks, a few months, put the spiritual stuff aside for a minute and go figure out what other aspects of your life need your attention at that time. Once you've resolved those aspects, once you've kind of dealt with those things that need your attention, at least in my experience, I've found that once I've dealt with those things, I come back and I feel renewed and I feel like I am able to effectively and efficiently practice my spiritual path. So, in my personal opinion and experience, I've found that one, guilt doesn't get you anywhere. So feeling guilty or bad that you aren't feeling as enthusiastic about spirituality at the moment, it's not going to help anything. It's only going to make you feel worse, and there's really no point in that. So why make it harder on yourself than it needs to be? And two, usually when I go through a spiritual slump, it's because there's something else in my life that I've kind of put to the back burner and it needs my focus and attention. And once I've kind of dealt with that, I can come back and usually I feel a lot better about my spiritual practice. So really what it comes down to is kind of figuring out why it is that you're feeling this lag in your spirituality, in the energy that's surrounding it, in the intensity of the feeling you have for it. Another thing that I can suggest is, and it's very simple, is a lot of times when I am feeling that way, watching YouTube videos, pagan YouTube videos, it really helps. I don't know why, and I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way, but I feel like I'm very inspired by the pagan community on YouTube. And I feel like when I'm able to sit down and watch videos of other pagans on YouTube, that I am inspired by that, and it helps me kind of regain my footing as far as my spiritual practice. So that's another thing that you could try. Meditation is great. Like I said, it's not always going to fix the problem, but it may help you figure out what else is going on in your life that needs your attention. So meditation is a good thing to do. But as far as this is concerned, in my experience, these are the things that have helped me the most. So, yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Those are my suggestions. Take it for what you will. But I hope that you guys have had a wonderful weekend. I thank you so much for watching, and many blessings, guys.